They told you to bring your whole self to work. Your trauma, your struggle, your morning mood swings, your unfiltered opinions, your raw, unprocessed emotions. They sold you a beautiful lie wrapped in the language of liberation. Be authentic, they whispered. Drop the mask. Show them who you really are. Here's what they didn't tell you. Emotional intimacy is cheaper than actual compensation. We're family here, costs them nothing, and extracts everything from you. And you believed them. I know why you believed them. The world is exhausting. The idea that you could just show up as you are, that sounded like rest, like permission to stop performing. I get it. Now you're watching this because something isn't working. Your colleagues avoid you. Your boss seems tired when you speak. Your career has stalled while the fake people keep getting promoted. You came here looking for answers. What if I told you that your authentic self, that precious, unfiltered version of you, is the most selfish thing you could bring to any room? What if Carl Jung was right when he said we need our masks to function, to become whole? What if your authentic self isn't brave at all? What if it's just undeveloped? And what if, while you've been defending your right to be real, something inside you has been dying? You know exactly what I'm talking about. You walk into work and immediately start talking about your weekend drama, your anxiety, your relationship problems, your opinions about everything and everyone. You call this authenticity. Jung called it inflation. The psychological state where your ego becomes so bloated with its own importance that it forgets other people exist. Think about it. Your authentic self, what does it actually do? It demands attention. It seeks validation. It wants everyone to adjust to its moods, its preferences. Your particular brand of chaos. Your authentic self announces itself like royalty entering a room. This is me. Deal with it. Here's what you don't see. While you're being real, everyone around you is doing the actual work. They're managing their emotions, so you don't have to. They're filtering their thoughts while you vomit yours. They're maintaining professional boundaries while you demolish them with your need to be seen. You think dropping your mask makes you brave, but you're making everyone else wear heavier masks to compensate for your refusal to wear one. Your authentic self doesn't serve the mission. It doesn't serve the team. It doesn't serve the work. It serves only one master, your ego's desperate hunger to be special. I know this lands hard, because you thought you were doing something courageous. You thought vulnerability was the same as strength, but the truth cuts deeper. And you need to hear what your authentic self has been hiding from you about power, about service, about what it actually means to be useful in this world. Jung understood something most people never grasp. Your persona, your professional mask, isn't fake. It's the most sophisticated psychological technology you possess. Let me be clear. This isn't about suppressing genuine needs for help. There is a world of difference between professionally communicating a struggle, saying, I'm dealing with a personal issue and may need some flexibility, and making your unprocessed anxiety the centerpiece of every meeting. One is professional communication. The other is emotional dumping. That Secret Service agent who interrogated child predators? She didn't bring her authentic rage into the room. She brought her professional self, controlled, neutral, effective. Because she could wear that mask, she got confessions, she protected children, she served something greater than her feelings. But you think your feelings are sacred. You think your emotions deserve an audience. You think your struggles make you deep. Here's what nobody tells you. Your authentic self is usually your weakest self. It's the version of you that hasn't done the work, that hasn't developed discipline, that hasn't learned to regulate, that hasn't evolved beyond base impulses and reactions. When you bring your authentic self to work, you're not bringing your best. You're bringing your psychological basement, the unfinished parts, the raw materials that should have been refined by now. The professional mask isn't hiding who you are. It's showing you who you could become if you stopped worshiping at the altar of your own authenticity. Your mask is trying to teach you something, a lesson about sovereignty you keep refusing to learn. And every time you refuse it, you're choosing something that feels like freedom, but functions as a cage. You cling to authenticity because it's easier than excellence. Think about what your professional mask demands: emotional regulation, tactical communication, strategic thinking, service to others. Think about what your authentic self demands. Nothing. Just be yourself. Just show up as you are. No growth required. No evolution necessary. You've turned being yourself into an excuse for never having to become better. Jung wrote about this. He called it the refusal of the call, the moment when the psyche chooses comfort over transformation. Every time you say, "This is just who I am," you're really saying, "This is as far as I'm willing to grow." Every time you demand others accept your authentic self, you're really demanding they lower their standards to meet you where you're stuck. Listen, I understand the appeal. The world told you that you were already enough, that you were perfect as you are, that growth meant betraying some essential truth about yourself. They lied to you about that too. The professional mask isn't oppression. Your authentic self is. You've decorated this prison so beautifully, you've forgotten it's still a cage. And the bars? They're made of every capacity you refuse to develop, every skill you won't learn, every version of yourself you're terrified to become. But here's what you haven't considered. What happens to the parts of you that you abandon in the name of staying real? When you refuse to wear your professional mask, you're not eliminating the shadow. You're becoming it. Jung taught that the shadow isn't just our dark impulses. It's everything we refuse to develop, every capacity we won't cultivate, every strength we won't claim. When you refuse to develop a professional persona, you don't become more real. You remain a fragment, a partial person, someone who mistakes their limitations for their identity. The executive who can command a room while remaining calm? She's integrated. She's taken the raw material of her personality and forged it into something useful. The surgeon who can operate while his personal life crumbles? He's disciplined. He's learned to compartmentalize and lives literally depend on his ability to transcend his feelings in that operating room. But you show up with all your chaos and call it courage. Here's what it actually is: abdication. You've abdicated your responsibility to become useful, to become skillful, to become someone who can serve something beyond their own emotional weather. And the cost? The cost is everything you could have been, every room you could have commanded, every life you could have touched, every mission you could have served. All of it sacrificed on the altar of being real. But the shadow isn't done with you yet. Because while you've been clinging to your authentic self, it's been extracting a price you haven't even noticed. A price that shows up in how isolated you've become, how stuck, how desperately special you need to be just to feel human. Your authentic self needs you to be special. It needs your struggles to be unique, your pain to be exceptional, your personality to be unlike anyone else's. But here's Jung's most devastating insight. The more special you think you are, the less human you become. The professional mask connects you to the collective. It's the part of you that can function in society, that can collaborate, that can serve, that can contribute to something larger than your individual drama. When you refuse to wear it, you don't become more authentic. You become more isolated. You become that person who can't work with others, who can't take feedback, who can't adapt, who can't grow. You become the person who needs every environment to adjust to them because they've never learned to adjust to anything. And then you wonder why you're stuck, why you're passed over, why you're alone. Your authentic self is a tyrant that demands everyone else sacrifice their comfort for yours. Here's what hurts. I know you didn't choose this consciously. You thought you were standing up for something. You thought you were honoring yourself. You thought the people who couldn't handle your realness were the problem, and some of them were. Some environments are toxic. Some people do demand you shrink. But most of the time, you're just refusing to grow up. And there's a part of you that knows this. That's why you're still watching. Because somewhere deep down, you know there's another way to be powerful, another way to be sovereign. The mask has been trying to show you all along. The professional mask isn't about being fake. It's about being useful. Jung understood that the persona, when consciously worn, becomes a tool of individuation. It's how you learn to function in the world while still maintaining your inner life. The mask teaches you things your authentic self never could. How to speak when you want to scream. How to stay when you want to run. How to serve when you want to be served. How to contribute when you want to consume. Every time you choose your professional self over your authentic self, you're not betraying who you are. You're becoming who you could be. The mask isn't hiding you. It's training you. It's showing you what you're capable of when you stop making everything about your feelings. Think of it this way. The mask is a mirror that shows you your potential. Your authentic self shows you your limitations. Which one do you want to study? Which one do you want to become? This isn't about suppression. This isn't about becoming a robot. This isn't about denying your humanity. It's about choice. The choice to hold two truths at once, to be both feeling and functional, both human and professional, both authentic in private and effective in public. Jung called this the transcendent function, and it changes everything. Here's what changes when you embrace your professional mask. You stop needing everyone to understand you. You stop demanding emotional labor from your colleagues. You stop making your problems everyone else's responsibility. You stop confusing your limitations with your identity. You start becoming someone who can hold space for others. You start becoming someone who can be trusted with real responsibility. You start becoming someone who can separate their personal chaos from from their professional contribution. You start becoming someone who matters because of what they do, because of what they build, because of how they serve. The transcendent function means you can be authentic in your private life. You can be authentic in your private life and professional in your public one. You can have feelings without being ruled by them. You can have struggles without making them your identity. You can be human without demanding everyone else deal with your humanity at its worst. The professional mask isn't a betrayal of self. It's the highest form of self-respect. It says, I am more than my impulses. I am more than my reactions. I am more than my untransformed personality. I am someone who can choose who to be in each moment. And that choice, that's the most authentic thing you possess. That's sovereignty. That's power. That's the kind of strength your authentic self could never give you because it only knows how to demand. That's the kind of strength your authentic self could never give you because it only knows how to demand, never how to build. You came here believing your authentic self was sacred. But authenticity without development is just stagnation with a marketing campaign. Your professional mask isn't the enemy. Your refusal to evolve is. Stop bringing your whole self to work. Start bringing your best self. Stop demanding acceptance for who you are. Start becoming someone worth accepting. Stop confusing your weaknesses with your identity. Start developing strengths that serve others. The world doesn't need another authentic person who can't regulate their emotions, can't take feedback, can't work with others, can't serve anything beyond their own need to be seen. The world needs professionals, people who can transcend themselves long enough to contribute to something meaningful. Your authentic self wants to be special. Your professional self wants to be useful. Choose. Choose now. Because every moment you spend defending your right to show up unfiltered and unfinished is a moment you're not becoming who you could be. The mask isn't hiding you. Your authenticity is. Carl Jung spent his entire career teaching one lesson. Wholeness requires integration. The conscious and unconscious, the persona and the shadow, the individual and the collective. You can't integrate what you won't develop. You can't become whole while remaining a fragment. The professional mask is calling you toward your own completion. The only question is whether you're brave enough to answer. The professional mask isn't about being fake. It's about being capable.